Number 10. Get favors. Legend has it that Benjamin Franklin once wanted to win over a man who didn't like him. He asked the man to lend him a rare book, and when the book was received he thanked him graciously. As a result, the man who had never wanted to speak to him before, became good friends with Franklin. To quote Franklin, "He that has once done you a kindness will be more ready to do you another than he whom you yourself have obliged." Scientists decided to test this theory, and found that those who were asked by the researcher for a personal favor rated the researcher much more favorably than the other groups did. It may seem counterintuitive, but the theory is pretty sound. If someone does a favor for you, they are likely to rationalize that you must have been worth doing the favor for, and decide that therefore they must like you. Number 9. Aim high. Ask for way more than you want at first, then scale it back later. This trick is sometimes known as the door in the face approach. You start by throwing a really ridiculous request at someone, a request they will most likely reject. You then come back shortly thereafter and ask for something much less ridiculous, the thing you actually wanted in the first place. This trick may also sound counterintuitive, but the idea behind it is that the person will feel bad for refusing your first request, even though it was unreasonable. So when you ask for something reasonable, they will feel obliged to help out this time. Number 8. Names. Use a person's name, or their title depending on the situation. Dale Carnegie, the author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, believed that using someone's name was incredibly important. He said that a person's name is the sweetest sound in any language for that person. A name is the core part of our identity, and so hearing it validates our existence, which makes us much more inclined to feel positively about the person who validated us. Number 7. Flattery. Flattery will actually get you everywhere. This one may seem obvious at first, but there are some important caveats to it. For starters, it's important to note that if the flattery is not seen as sincere, it's going to do more harm than good. But researchers have studied the motivations behind people's reactions to flattery and found some very important things. Number 6. Mirroring. Mirror their behavior. Mirroring is also known as mimicry and is something that some people do naturally. People with this skill are considered to be chameleons. They try to blend into their environment by copying other people's behaviors, mannerisms, and even speech patterns. However, this skill can also be used consciously and is a great way to make you more likable. Number 5. Use tiredness. Ask for favors when someone is tired. When someone is tired, they are more susceptible to everything someone may say, whether it is a statement or a request. The reason for this is that when people are tired, it isn't just their physical body, their mental energy levels drop as well. When you ask a request of someone who is tired, you probably won't get a definite response, but probably an "I'll do it tomorrow," because they don't want to deal with decisions at the moment. The next day, they are likely to follow through, because people tend to keep their word. It's natural psychologically to want to follow through with something you said you would do. Number 4. Offer they can't refuse. Start with a request they can't refuse, and work your way up. This is a reverse of the door in the face technique. Instead of starting with a large request, you start with something really small. Once someone has committed to helping you or agreeing to something, they are now more likely to agree to a bigger request. Scientists tested this phenomenon in regards to marketing. Number 3. Keep quiet. Don't correct people when they are wrong. Carnegie also pointed out in his famous book that telling someone they are wrong is usually unnecessary and does the opposite of endearing them to you. There is actually a way to show disagreement and turn it into a polite conversation without telling someone they are wrong, which strikes to the core of their ego. This is called the Ransberger pivot, invented by Ray Ransberger and Marshall Fritz. The idea behind it is pretty simple. Instead of arguing, listen to what they have to say, and then seek to understand how they feel and why. Then you explain the common ground that you share with them and use that as a starting point to explain your position. This makes them much more likely to listen to what you have to say and allows you to correct them without them losing face. Number 2. Repeat stuff back. Paraphrase people and repeat back to them what they just said. One of the most positive ways to influence others is to show them that you really understand how they feel, that you have real empathy for them. One of the most effective ways to do this is by paraphrasing what they say and repeating it back to them, also known as reflective listening. Studies have shown that when therapists used reflective listening, people were likely to disclose more emotion and have a much better therapeutic relationship with the therapist. Number 1. Nod a lot while you talk, especially when leading up to asking for a favor. Scientists have found that when people nod while listening to something, they are more likely to be in agreement with it. They also have discovered that when someone is nodding a lot in front of them, it is natural for them to do the same. This is understandable, because humans are well known at mimicking behaviors, especially those that they consider to have positive connotations. So if you want to be extra convincing, nod regularly throughout the conversation. The person you are talking to will find it hard not to nod themselves, and they will start to feel agreeable toward what you are saying, without even knowing it.